Join me as I explore a conquering force unlike anything the world has ever seen. Genghis Khan's Mongol horde. In fewer than 70 years, they created the largest land empire ever in human history. How was Genghis Khan's army able to achieve military domination on such a grand scale? And what ultimately became the great empire of the Khans? To find out, I'll build a gur in the Mongolian steppe, fire arrows from horseback like a Mongolian warrior, and use DNA science to trace the genetic legacy of military genius Genghis Khan. We're digging for the truth, and we're going to extremes to do it.
Eight centuries ago, the Central Asian steppe witnessed the birth of an empire, one of the greatest the world has ever seen. Hi, I'm Josh Bernstein. I've come here to Mongolia to explore the history and legacy of the great Mongol horde and their infamous ruler, Genghis Khan.
Located on the steppe of Central Asia, Mongolia is a small nation of 2.5 million people. For most of the 20th century, Mongolia was a satellite state of the Soviet Empire, and the Soviets actively discouraged national pride in Genghis Khan. Today, Mongolia is an independent nation. Walking around the capital city, Ulaanbaatar, I can see the respect they have for him. The name and image of Genghis Khan is everywhere. On everything, from buildings to beer bottles to bills.
They even put his face on the side of a mountain.
For Westerners, the terror of Genghis Khan's Mongol hordes is legendary. In the 13th century, they surged out of Mongolia and descended like locusts on the civilized world. They slaughtered indiscriminately, raped and pillaged. They were said to be primitive barbarians, illiterate, without art or agriculture. Heathens. At least, that's what many of us always heard. To explore the truth behind the legends, I've arranged to meet Mongol historian Dr. Chris Atwood on the face of Genghis himself.
Chris? Hey, Josh.
Good to meet you.
Yeah, you picked a great spot for a meeting. And we're standing in the face of, is it Genghis Khan or Genghis Khan? I've heard both.
It's Genghis Khan. In the 18th century, when French scholars began studying him through Persian manuscripts, they misread his name. They turned it from Genghis Khan into Genghis Khan. And then later on, people began calling it Genghis Khan.
Ah.
But that's not right.
No Genghis.
Stick with Genghis.
Okay, so who was Genghis Khan?
Well, he was the builder of the largest land empire in world history.
There have been lots of empires over the past 800 years.
There's nothing quite like the Mongol Empire. The Roman Empire at its height was 1/4 the size of the Mongol Empire at its height. The empire of Alexander the Great was 1/2 the size of the Mongol Empire at its height. I mean, this was, in terms of scale, off the map. And all of that was built within less than 70 years.
The Mongolian Empire stretched from the Pacific Ocean to the Black Sea, including most of present-day Russia and China. A phenomenal 14 million square miles, the largest contiguous land empire ever. They overcame the most technologically advanced civilizations of their day, the Chinese, Persians, and Europeans. It's easy to see why modern Mongolians revere him.
He's the person who founded their nation. He's the person who took them from being isolated, scattered tribes to being a nation, and moreover, a nation that was ruling Eurasia.
Genghis Khan is really more of a title than a name. It means universal leader. When he was born in 1162 AD, he was named Temujin. At that time, 5 tribes dominated the steppe, each with its own Khan. They existed in a state of perpetual anarchy. Unrelenting power struggles between Khans created a shifting landscape of tribal alliances and nearly constant violence. When Temujin was 9, his own father was poisoned by a rival tribe. Temujin thought all the nomads should be united under one Khan and confront their enemies outside the steppelands. He was driven by an ancient tribal legend. Like the 5 tribes, there were 5 sons who fought bitterly among themselves. Their mother stopped them and said, "Each of you, take an arrow and break it." Then she said, "Now try to break these 5 arrows bound together. If you would be as a bundle of arrows, you'd be invincible." Temujin's dream was to unite the tribes and to then take advantage of the unique abilities of a unified nomadic people.
What Genghis Khan and his armies achieved was nothing short of amazing. What was so special about these ancient Mongols that allowed them to so comprehensively defeat their enemies?
To find out, I've come to the National University of Mongolia to meet archaeologist Dr. Tumen Dashsevit. Dr. Tumen led an archaeological expedition that in 2004 made the amazing discovery of 7 ancient graves marked by a single stone.
Okay, you can open, go. Please come in. It is our storage room where we keep all archaeological findings.
What's inside?
Inside it's skulls.
Skulls.
Yeah.
She pulls out one of the boxes to show me. It's the skull of a woman. And Dr. Tumen says she has the rest of the skeleton already laid out in the next room. It's one of the rare skeletons that have been found in Mongolia in the Middle Ages. The nomads left most of their dead unburied for animals to devour. Only the elite were buried. Dr. Tumen tells me that this royal burial has already revealed valuable clues about life in the age of the Khans.
Do we know when she lived?
Yeah, she lived exactly at the Genghis period.
Same time as
Same,
Genghis?
yeah. 1190 and 1230.
So it's possible that she knew Genghis Khan.
Maybe.
Right? Yeah, that's
Maybe.
exciting.
No,
There's some evidence to support this. Dr. Tumen shows me some of the treasures that were found buried with the woman, including gold-plated armor and a gold ring with the image of a falcon.
Yeah, look, no, there's a little falcon. Look, see that little bird in there.
Yeah, falcon was a symbol of the Genghis tribes.
The falcon was the image of Genghis.
Yeah.